Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today I just want to take a little bit of time looking at the updates for ElementaryOS as reported in the October 2019 blog post release. This was sent to me by FarrenOS, so check out FarrenOS as well. Excellent distribution. So what I wanted to focus on specifically here is they seem now wanting an elementary team to be giving you warning pop-ups if you're trying to install an application that is not what they would call as a curated app. And we're going to go ahead and have a look at this. But let's just go ahead and have a look at the rest of the blog post here while we're here. There's some good and some bad in this, and I kind of want your thoughts and your opinions about this. So you will get this automatically if you install the latest ElementaryOS Juno and run the system updates. Now, I will also say this. When I install the updates, we are in a virtual machine here. When I install the updates, I was actually not able to boot into the kernel it wanted me to. I had to go back into recovery and boot into the previous kernel. But all of the other changes that I see are here. And just an FYI, I don't know if that was on real hardware. So if you did do an update and you can't boot it, just go into your grub menu there and load a previous version of the kernel. That might just be something affecting the virtual machine. Just letting you know that that's something that I had encountered. So over here, this is the one that we're going to be focusing on here. Sideload and Flatpak. We have a brand new app for ElementaryOS to enable easier sideloading of apps. The sideloader handles the Flatpak ref files that you might find on FlatHub. Now, when you attempt to install one of these, you get this wonderful pop-up. Install an untrusted app. The app is provided solely by its developer and has not been reviewed for security, privacy, or system integration. Gives you the download size. The updates to the app will not be reviewed, and other apps as distributor may also appear in the App Center. So we have this option here, and we're going to come back and talk about this a little bit more here. So, of course, they have Flatpak is now enabled out of the box in Elementary. This is something, of course, that Cinnamon does as well, or Linux Mint does as well, which I'm not a huge fan of. We'll get into a little bit more about the issue with this. And so here we have the App Center, just the various updates. The App Center will now have non-curated warnings as well. So you can see here, sorry, the browser on Elementary sucks. It has here install non-curated apps. So it has may not receive bug. It may access or change file system or personal files without permission. Let's see what else we have here. We now can at least view things when the network is not available, presumably based on cache. So you can actually, they'll basically cache the updates there. A lot of little things in the greeters, date and time redesign, housekeeping. I didn't really see the huge difference between these. They went from toggle buttons to checkboxes. I'm not sure if there was anything else. A few other things changed in the look and the feel. You'll see those. Now let's go ahead and have a quick look at this. Of course, I'm not a huge fan of snaps, Flatpaks, app images. Of all of those, I think I like the app images the best. But here is the challenge that Elementary is starting to get into with this. On Linux Mint, and I could actually drop down into my system and show you on Linux Mint that when you're going to be installing something, you can very clearly see where it is from. We don't actually have that situation in Elementary. So here's the App Store. Now, it does tell me somewhere in that blog post that if there's a version of an application from a few different sources, then you'll get the option to choose which one. So one application that I know does have that is LibreOffice, and I did not test this prior to this. So if I come in here, it just says LibreOffice free. It doesn't give me other information. I don't know if this is installing a Flatpak or something curated out of the repositories. I'm really not sure. And this is one that in reality, they do have a Flatpak. They do have I think they have app images as well. Let's also look at GIMP because this is another one that you can get the Flatpak version or you can get the non-Flatpak version. Let's go ahead and click on this. Notice now, this is GIMP. This is a wildly popular application in Linux world. Now we get this warning. Install non-curated app. GNU Image Manipulator program is not curated by Elementary and has not been reviewed for security, privacy, or system integration. It may not receive bug fixes or future updates. It may access or change system or personal files without permission. So now we have the option. So now they're giving us this big thing. We don't know the source of it. This is a wildly popular Linux version, Linux application, and we're getting these warnings. This is crazy. This is insane. Let's look at Kden Live is another one. Let's have a look at this one. Like every app I'm going to want to install. Kodi. They're not telling us the source again. Let's see if I can actually find an app I actually use on a regular basis that's actually, quote unquote, curated. And this is why I'm not a fan of Elementary. Let's see. Homepage report a problem. Based on the fact that we're actually seeing at least more information down here, my bet is... Oh, no, never mind. No. All right. Linux is becoming a scary place. Everything I try and do is not curated. And this is I can't even find the things that are the alleged curated ones. Maybe if I look through, let's look in Office. Abbey Word. Coin, Crypt. Calligra Sheets. So even just browsing the thing, I'm getting this giant pop-up everywhere I'm going. Badger? Elfinware? I don't even... Hey! Elfin... I don't even know what this is. No, I don't want to install it. Hey, I finally found an application that does not give me the scary pop-up. I don't know what it is or why it is, but remind yourself not to sit in the stare at the computer screen too long. All right. Well, that's exciting. Elementary team, I don't know what you guys are doing, but giving me this pop-up on literally every Linux application. Like, these weren't little obscure things. Let's go ahead and try, of course, Evolution is my favorite. Evolution is my favorite email client. Let's see what that gets me. No. So here's the concern. Now, do we as Linux users understand that, you know, the Evolution team is probably going to be one of the safer apps? Anything coming from the GNOME Foundation is probably going to be an extraordinarily safe app. But this is trying to now duplicate what Apple is doing, where if you use an Apple and you download a DMG file, there's some that are available in the store and they'll be like, hey, you can run this, no problem. We want you to run this. But anything that's outside of their store, they give you all these scary warnings. Now, at least I have the option here to say, don't show non-curated warnings. I can install it anyway. In Apple, I still have to go into the settings. Now, they did mention in the blog post there somewhere that you can see what the source is of these applications. I'm not seeing that. And this is some of the things that Elementary is just trying to streamline everything so much. And in their streamlining, they have lost what they're doing. So let me just go ahead and show you here from Linux Mint if I were to go into installing new software here. So let's just go ahead and have a look at a couple of applications. So let's just go ahead, for example, and look at GIMP. So I have GIMP. This is the one from the repositories, and I also have GIMP in the FlatHub. So we can kind of see. Now, this is not Elementary. Let me minimize this. So you can see this is not Elementary. This is Linux Mint. And I can do the same thing for a variety of applications. I'm not sure if LibreOffice has the Flatpak or not. Let's go ahead and have a look. So yeah, it does. So I can download the LibreOffice, and it's very clear to me which one it is. So for me, I don't like Flatpaks, so I try not to install them. And so I can see here, oh, look at that. That's the Flatpak version. And if I find a LibreOffice in here that does not have that, then that's the version that I want to use. We do the same with Kden Live. So here's the Kden Live from the repository, and now mine's using the PPA. This one here is the Kden Live from the Flatpak. And so when we are changing things around here so that now every single application that I know what it is that are very good, very reputable applications, now when you're trying to use Elementary is giving you these scary pop-ups to say, this is a potential security risk. And the reality is, no, these are not necessarily security risks. And this is one of the fundamental reasons why I do not like snaps. I do not like Flatpaks. I want them to curate more things. What they've started to do is now they've curated a small handful. I cannot even sort in this new App Center and find what is curated and what is not. I don't have that as an option that I know of anyway. If it is here, I don't know where it is. And now, since people are releasing Flatpaks, the developers are becoming lazy and saying, we're not going to curate this. We're not going to audit this code. We're not going to add this. We're just going to rely on the snap. We're going to rely on the Flatpak. And then they're like, oh, but this could be vulnerabilities and issues. This is why myself, who is not necessarily a programmer, I don't have the ability to audit every Flatpak or snap or app image I want to download. But when we're going into a traditional system, your curators have looked at these. The people who are experts have looked at these. And it's not the developers, it's the independent people who are releasing the distributions. So now this is the endpoint of where we're getting to. We're getting to this point where now I go into Elementary and everything I just tried to install that I know what it is that I generally use and install on my systems, everything. Thunderbird isn't even in here. That's exciting. Oh, there it is. Wait. I guess it is there. Everything I'm trying to install, it's giving me this warning. Now, I personally know, okay, I'm just going to turn this guy off, install anyways, and don't show me any more non-curated warnings. But if you're a person who's new to Linux, and you're coming over here, and you're seeing this warning before everything, you're like, I can't install it. Everything's a security risk. No, I have full confidence that Thunderbird is not going to be a problem to install. This is insanity. And this is one of the reasons I traditionally have not liked Elementary. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.